Splash, Simba, Hydrox, and Boo, the Lucky Ferals. Good morning, Boo. Boo loves to lay on this packing paper. Good morning, Simba. Simba loves to lay in this cat tower. Good morning, Splash. Splash loves to look at Boo. Good morning, Stella. Stella loves to drink fresh water. Right, Stella? It is 8:45 a.m. and I'm down here in the laundry room and I'm packing up Hydrox's frozen raw food that I made yesterday. It's been freezing in scoops overnight, and this is the last bag. So what I do is I mark the bags with the date that I made them, and then the number of scoops in here and how many days it will last. I've been portioning them off in gallon Ziploc bags, and I've been putting 36 scoops in a bag. And if he eats 3 scoops per meal, that's 6 scoops a day. So that means 36 scoops will last 6 days. And this has 2 extra scoops because this was the last bag. But I have this bag, and then here in the bottom of the freezer, this is a bag of food for Hydrox, and this is a bag of food for Hydrox. This is still food for the upstairs cats. So what that means is the food I made for Hydrox last night should last 18 days for him, because I have 3 bags at 6 days a bag, and that would be 18. And these are the cookie sheets that I use to freeze the scoops of raw food. So basically I either use like wax paper or parchment paper. I put that on the cookie sheet, and then I freeze the scoops on the sheet. And some people have asked me, like, have you thought of using ice cube trays, and why don't you use ice cube trays? And the reason why is for ease of cleanup. All I really need to do is take the paper off these sheets and then kind of rinse off these pans, because the pans have not really been used. That's one reason. It's just easier for me to do it that way. The next reason is I don't really like the idea of having to get like 20 ice cube trays to do a large quantity of food, maybe even more than 20 trays, and then having to deal with washing all of those trays. I feel like that this is a more sanitary way to prep the raw food for the cats. So it's mostly, for me, it's just convenience and cleanliness, and that's why I choose to do it this way. The other reason why is, you know, where am I going to store all those ice cube trays when they're not in use? I know they can stack on top of each other, but, you know, even then, space is at a premium in this house, especially with the cats and all the cat stuff. So that's always something I have to consider. And by using the sheet pans, I really don't need any extra space to store them, because these are sheet pans that I use, and these fit very nicely in the drawer under my oven where they are anyway. So that is my thinking and my reasoning as far as why I like to scoop out the raw food and freeze it on pans versus using like ice cube trays. Let's take another look at how much it costs to make homemade raw food for a cat. This is my receipt for the chicken that I bought to make Hydrox's raw food yesterday. I spent a total of $22.78 on the chicken. Now, if we add, let's say, $2 for additional supplements, it would be $24.78. So I spent $24.78 on total ingredients, and we're going to divide that by 18 because it made enough food for 18 days. And the total that we get is $1.37 a day to make this homemade raw food for Hydrox. Now let's divide that by 2 because he gets 2 meals a day. That means it costs 69 cents, because we're going to round this up. It costs 69 cents per meal for Hydrox. Now, if I went to Trader Joe's and I bought a can of their cat food, it costs 69 cents a can. So right now, based on the chicken that I purchased yesterday, it's costing me the exact same amount of money to make homemade raw food for Hydrox, which is completely fresh. I know 100% what is in the food, except for maybe, you know, some things that went into raising the chickens. And it's much healthier for him. The main reason why I feed these cats a raw food diet is because it is much healthier for them than any kind of cooked food that you'd buy in a can, or even dry food. Dry food especially has been very highly processed. And the reason why it's healthier for them is because their bodies are biologically designed to digest raw meat and raw food. There's not one cat that lives in nature, that's living in the wild, that cooks its food. There's not one animal living in nature, living in the wild, that cooks its food. None of them do that. So if that is the way that they eat in nature, and they are obviously healthiest living in a pristine natural environment, I want to replicate that as much as I can in the food that I give them. The reason why this batch of food was cheaper than the last batch of food is because I went and I bought the meat at a local ethnic market, because I know they have very fresh meat. The meat is not marked as organic. The meat is not marked as all natural. So that's the difference. I don't mind paying more for higher quality, locally raised, organic, all natural meat. I would rather do that, but sometimes it's just more convenient and easier for me to buy what's available. Good morning, Hydrox. It's about 9:30 a.m. and Hydrox just came out of the shelter because I was outside about 5 minutes ago and he was not outside, or else he came from somewhere else. So I just gave him breakfast. I gave him his homemade raw food in the heated kitty cafe. I gave him some fresh hot water. The giant stainless steel bowl is frozen solid. So it's been really cold out. Hey Hydrox, how are you? I'm gonna go inside so you could go eat. That's what he was telling me. He said, leave me alone, let me go in. Let me go eat, and then he'll go back in his warm shelter. Or else he'll hang out in the sun, but it's not really sunny today yet. It's about 1:30 p.m. right now, and I came home for lunch, and I was petting Simba in the hallway, and I heard Boo jump off the cat tower, and Boo walked into the living room, and he sat down next to Stella where she was laying in this round bed, and we saw what just happened. Stella stretched, and Boo was smelling her paw. And then Stella, being the queen that she is, she said, "How dare you smell my paw?" It's okay, Boo. Stella really loves you. Boo loves Stella. But Stella has to learn to be nice to Boo. Right, Stella? Be nice to Boo. Stella likes keeping Boo in his place. It's okay, Boo. You don't have to feel bad. I'll pet you. I'll pet you, Boo. Don't worry about Stella being nasty to you, okay? Okay, Boo? Everybody loves you, Boo. Okay? Stella loves you too. She just doesn't know how to tell you that she loves you. She just doesn't know how to show it. Boo just turned his back to Stella. He says, I'm not paying any attention to her. Looks like Boo's fur is getting long. Okay. I can't pet you too much, Boo. I gotta get back to work. Okay. Alright. Okay. Stella's staring at Boo. Okay, Boo, I gotta get going. I'll pet you later, okay? Boo says to pet his cheeks. He likes it when you rub his cheeks. Okay, Boo. Okay, I gotta go. You want some pet, Simba? I'll pet you too. There's your pet, Simba. You want more? Okay, but I gotta go. Oops, sorry about you. Yeah. I gotta go. Stella. Want some pets? Stella's trying to apologize to Boo, but Boo doesn't trust her. Did you see that? Stella put her paw on Boo. Boo says, don't think you're moving that fast. He doesn't trust her. It's okay, Boo. Maybe she's trying to be nice to you. Be nice, Stella. See, Boo? I told you. Stella really loves you. Just be nice to Stella. Okay, Boo? Stella's taking her paw back. It's okay, Stella. Boo will give you another chance. It is 6:45 p.m. right now. I just got home, and Hydrox greeted me on the patio. So I put his food together for him. He has 3 of the homemade raw scoops with some warm water, some herbs. I don't know what he's doing, but he just like ran away from the food and then he spit some out of his mouth. But then he just ate it again. I don't know if he got spooked or what. That dog was barking. I don't know if it was windy. What's your food, Hydrox? Now, one thing I did notice when I was putting his food together is that there were some bigger chunks in it. Because when I was using the food processor yesterday, I learned that you definitely don't want to fill up the food processor too much with meat, not to make it more than like halfway full, because if it has too much meat in it, it doesn't process it as good. And I actually pulled out some of the bigger chunks when I was making the food to put them back in so that they would be processed again to a finer consistency. So I don't know if maybe he was eating a big chunk and it bothered him. It is 7:19 p.m. and I saw Hydrox went back to eat the rest of his food. So I just put together a cup of the Sheba tuna. I added water to it, kind of made it less chunky for him. And I went outside and the bowl was completely licked clean. So I gave him some tuna because it's really cold out and he could use the extra calories. Looks like he's enjoying that. Boo wanted to taste it also. So I gave him a very tiny bit in the Sheba cup, which he's probably having a hard time getting to.
Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.